What's happening? Jason Marsden here, voice of Max Goof in a Goofy movie. And you're watching Splash Pages.
Excelsior!
Everybody, I'm super excited here because this is definitely something I was hoping was going to happen, and he's right here. Everybody, Jason Marsden. And, sir, first thing first, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing. I'm having a great time. I'm from here, I'm from Rhode Island originally. So I'm psyched to be back in my home state. I love doing the con thing. Rhode Island Comicon, it's insane. So many people, great cosplay, great people. Long answer, sorry. There are other things you have to do.
That's totally fine. So, when I was trying to think of questions to ask you, I then looked up your IMDb credit. And let me tell you, that was just insane because you've done so much and so many things that just from my childhood alone, I couldn't even begin. But there is one thing I want to ask you about. You were Garrett Miller in the Extreme Ghostbusters, which I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and I loved the show. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I loved the show. What was that like working on the sequel to the real Ghostbusters and doing your own thing and being this character that I hate to say it, I feel hasn't really gotten the due he's deserved.
Sure.
Garrett was an integral part of the show. So what was that like?
Thank you for that. It was amazing because Peter Weller just walked by. Sorry, Peter Weller, RoboCop, other things. That's what happens here at National Comicon. Anyway, back to me. I loved it. I was a big fan of the real Ghostbusters. Well, fan of the original movie when it came out. Big fan of the real Ghostbusters. Watched it every Saturday morning, and if you told like little me then that I'd be working in that franchise, I wouldn't believed it. So yeah, I was beside myself. And Mollo Marsh, who's also here, who's voicing Egon, really getting to work with him, solidify a friendship with him during that. Tara Strong, who's over here, it was like the first cartoon she did in the States. It was both professionally and personally, like, I'm still beside myself about it. But yeah, Garrett Miller. Garrett, for those who don't know, Garrett was a wheelchair-bound Ghostbusters, and it didn't stop him none from busting ghosts and taking names.
Or kicking ghost butt, as you were very commonly regular to say. We came, we saw, we kicked ghost butt.
That's right. Who you gonna call? Brooklyn Heights is in the house.
Indeed.
Yeah, man.
They definitely were. So another thing to ask is that Boy Meets World.
Yes.
You played a character that was your own name.
Yes.
Which was the complete joke of the writers. Like, it's going to be funny for Mr. Feeney, who is also here.
Yes, Mr. Daniels is here. Yes.
So what was that like working on the show? And then considering that it's still here. Everyone still loves it. And, the next generation is still finding all the humor still with it. Like, what was that like?
What was it like working on the show?
Yes, everything.
It was fantastic. I had worked with the producer, Michael Jacobs, before. I actually auditioned to play Eric. And I was like, what, this kid, Friedel, he deserves a shot, so I'm just going to back out. No, I'm kidding. Like, we auditioned, he won it fair and square. But we had a kinship instantly, and Mr. Jacobs brought me on to play his friend. So the show, the Sergeant Slaughter just walked by. That's just what happens. They wrote the part for me to play his friend. That's why his name is Jason.
Yes.
And then when Mr. Feeney has to say my last name, like you said, they thought it would be a fun inside joke. That's why he says Mr. Marsden. So Jason Marsden playing Jason Marsden. Boy Meets World.
There you go. So another thing is that you
looking for other celebrities. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I can't believe how many have passed just in this interview alone.
All right. You're talking to me.
Exactly. I know. I'm focused on you right now. But so you've been the voice of Max since the Goofy movies, which I have to be honest, one of my favorites. And
thank you.
And one of the things I never understood is I know Aaron Lohr did the singing voice, but you also can sing.
Sure.
So what?
Man, it's show business. It's not show talent. It's not show me your best singing. It's show business. And someone made the decision to have someone else sing for Max. And it happens. I was sad about it for a little bit. I got over it. Aaron's a friend of mine, and he does a great job. And I'm just happy. I'm happy that they were able to marry the two instead of replace me completely, so I could still be part of it.
So there's so many things I can ask you about. I know that Hocus Pocus 2 came out recently.
Yes.
And I have to be sad. They had a black cat. I didn't hear your voice, so I was like, erroneous on all accounts here. So I could easily, again, but another thing I definitely want to bring up is you were Richie in Static Shock.
Yes.
So you were the fun, sarcastic sidekick to Virgil Hawkins.
That's right. I'm typecast.
You know,
That's the sarcastic side.
but so what was that like? You know, you're on Static Shock, you're on a character who was based on a comic book that was very, very well liked, but you know, some people kind of still slept on, and you kind of brought him to the mainstream. I mean, I've seen at least 2 Statics here, so.
Yes, I did see a Static. I took a picture of the Static. Again, a fantastic, an honor to be part of something that was groundbreaking, like first African American, animated superhero to be represented. I was happy to be part of it. It was my 3rd time working with Phil Lamar and Dennis McGowan, who created the character. I mean, all the credit really goes to him. I was just along for the ride.
Well, the last question I have to ask, because I could stand here all time, but I'm sure there are other people here who just want to meet you as much as I do.
No, I love talking about myself.
No.
Please
so
don't go.
the last question I have to ask is the very simple one, and it's one I'm sure you've answered 1 billion times, but when there's something strange in the neighborhood, who are you going to call?
We're going to call Garrett Miller, man. Call the Ghostbusters. This Brooklyn Heights is in the house.
Only on splash pages, everyone. All right.